go before pulling her back.
So when you saw these pages that were in a handwriting, you read all of them, right?
I read most of the document on my way out of, because once I verified that there was something in there of concern, then I was taken. To take to my supervisor.
So at the very beginning of that, in front of you, the first couple of lines, and you can just read it to yourself right now,
Okay.
is about a conversation between Ms. Richens and her attorney, correct?
No. Just saying she's referred to this guy as the third person.
Right. She's talking about something that her attorney told her, correct?
Correct.
All right. So as you started to read this, you immediately saw that she was talking about something,
Correct.
but you continued to go on and read it.
Correct. So I scanned the document, and then fairly quick, she talks about basically what she's telling her brother to say.
Well, I understand that's what your interpretation of the document is, but let me back up a little bit. So when you come across documents that are privileged, do you typically go on and continue to read them?
They weren't marked as privileged.
When you come across documents about an individual's case that they've written,
We security threats.
you scan them or you read them?
Scan them. Or you read them until you determine that it's a legal document when it's a handwritten letter that's not in a legal folder or anything like that.
Now, you refer to that as a letter, but is that a letter addressed to anybody? Does it say dear somebody at the top?
No, not at the top. At the back.
Well, wait a minute. Let's clarify here. Addressing a letter would, there's no,
Hold on.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Mr. Bloodworth.
Like all the other documents in this case, it says what it says. We don't need a quiz on what it says.
Are there questions about why Sergeant Thomas did or didn't do whatever he didn't do? Sergeant Thomas did or didn't do whatever he didn't do next that you need to ask?
There is, and it's laying foundation for argument that will be made in the brief.
If you need to ask questions about what he did or didn't do, that's fine.
Well, I think it's important to clarify for purposes of argument and privilege whether or not this document was obviously a letter.
Well, but you can candidly. I don't care whether he thinks it was obviously a letter. I can address that, and I have to under the law, make an objective determination of that. If you want to ask him why he did whatever he did or didn't do next, that's fine.
Okay. All right. Can I get an answer to the first question? Is there a salutation on the letter to somebody?
No.
All right, but you continued to read it.
Correct.
Anyway, and it's not signed on the bottom by Ms. Richens. It's not Love Corey on the bottom, correct?
I would have to.
I'll go ahead and take a
Ms.
quick
Lewis,
look.
if you just ask the next question, I'm going to move you along just a little bit here.
Was there an envelope with that to mail it?
No.
Were there any letters in her cell that were ready to be mailed out that you found that day?
I don't recall any. This is the only letter I remember. This was the only letter of significance that I felt was a violation of rules and a safety security threat.
All right, and it was attached to three other pages that were just notes. Correct?
Yeah, it was like a checklist of